I feel like what we've seen from the Bears offense in the last couple of weeks, I think it's real.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything there that you'd be like, oh, that's just a fluke and you played a crappy team and you won. Same thing with Washington. I feel like they're for real because they've played some teams that would fall into that category, but their offense is as high-powered as it is. It can match up with just about anybody, and oftentimes for them it led to 5 wins. So I think the quarterback, like if Jaden Daniels is not going to play or not going to be at 100%, I think that certainly swings things in Chicago's favor. And it's weird, like all of a sudden the last couple of weeks, I'm now predicting scores that have potentially 3 in front of it to start out. I'm going to pick the Bears to win here. I think it'll be 31-28 Chicago. Going on the road and playing in a place like Washington where, the Bears have a lot to prove. You don't want to be in a situation where you feel like you have to play like you have something to prove. Just go out and be the team that you were against Jacksonville, the team that was in such control in the second half that was able to overcome a slow start to that game once again, a slow start defensively too, and then overcoming the interception in the back-to-back scoring drives. Like that to me is what's real about this group. So I think Caleb Williams in the offense will see another big game for Keenan Allen this week. Maybe it's the Roma Dunze game. Maybe, DJ Moore then again, has been stellar. I love
the chuckle when I was like, you got better than 230 and 3 touchdowns. He's like, I don't know, but I don't feel that way now. I'll let you know later in the week.
I mean, if they play him the way that they did last year and give him that cushion and, if they want to throw short passes to DJ and let him take it 60+ yards, then yeah, but that's, the fun thing with this offense is figuring out who's going to be the breakout star on a week-to-week basis. And that's what happens when you do have that much talent, which is why I think now that they've figured out how to use it, like DeAndre Swift is the most important player, in my opinion, skill-wise, for determining can this thing continue on.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case, and he does, then who's eating this week?
Yeah.
And so, 3 straight weeks of 30+ points. I never thought that I'd say that with the Chicago offense, but it does feel like that is where this thing is trending.
I'm there with you. I'm only thing I'm different on is I'm probably the highest person on this Bears defense in our circle of ESPN. Because I truly believe the only thing that has held this defense back in certain games has been the offense not being up to speed and then having to carry a little bit of an extra load. I'm going to say 31-21.
Okay, you think they still their streak's alive? 21 points or fewer for 13 straight games.
I think the streak is alive just because, and I know that I was listening to Shay and Jay Hood this morning, and they were like, and Dion, they're like, Pat's losing his mind out here. He thinks the Bears are just blowing teams out left and right. But I look at the matchups and I'm saying, but the Bears have so many advantages on this defense. If Tyreek Stevenson comes back, who are you going to pick on? Right, I normally would say, right, I'm going to pick on Josh Blackwell because maybe Terry McLaurin's covered up. Tyreek Stevenson's back. He's been the guy you're going to pick on. He is legitimately better than the opposite receiver coming into this game. This is the first game I think we can say that. Jalen Johnson, give me the matchup there on Terry McLaurin. If the run defense is real, like how Eric Washington has said, that means you're making your team very one-dimensional. You're going to have to throw the football. That's advantage Bears because they're intercepting the football at a rate that seems unbelievable. When I look at the Bears as far as forcing fumbles this season and recovering them, I think they're recovering 75% of their fumbles this year.
They have 6. What is it? 6 fumble recovery.
6 forced fumbles, and they've recovered 4 of them, something like that. It's an astronomical rate. How they're playing feels very 2018 like, where we kept going every week. Well, you can't sustain this. You can't, and then we get to the end of the season. I guess they can sustain this. That was ridiculous. That's how it feels right now. And so to me, I think because of that. And because of what we know about how Cliff Kingsbury runs this offense, give me advantage Bears on the defensive side. And you look at the offensive side, I agree with you. I think the offense is real. And I think this, not to say Washington's defense is terrible, but they're just too banged up to me right now. When you don't get the pressure on Caleb Williams, you've seen what he can do when he has time in the pocket. Not having Jonathan Allen means there's going to be, if anything, at least a little bit more time for him to assess what's going to happen. I think that's advantage Bears as well. I think with the wide receiver group, it's going to make that DB room a little bit tougher for Washington. And I think that you can still go out there and score a ton of points versus this team. I think they're 25th in points allowed this season. Like, they're put up points. They're
bottom 5 in some big categories on defense.
And I think that gets exposed this week as well. I don't think that anything slows down. I guess the only question mark would be, is there a lull or is there a drop-off after a bye week? But it doesn't feel like it right now, and we'll see when we get to the game.
And offensively, like what they can really prove, and I know we've like buried the lead on this. How about you get off to a fast start?
That'd be nice.
Like, don't let another team like score first, because all of the changes that were like talked about on the broadcast and going into the London week about, oh, they're scripting plays, and then we kind of hear, all right, well, they've had openers, but they've like put them in a different order. They put them in an order, and players like got to like see that and like practice stuff. They still, script or not, it was not good against Jacksonville the way they started a game. Like, this could be a big statement of, do you come out fast and do you score on your first drive?
Yeah. My biggest takeaway literally at the start of Jacksonville, I was like, yeah, they said they started scripting. Go back to the other thing. I don't want the script anymore. I don't like the script.
It wasn't, I mean, whatever it wasn't effective.
Literally, I think it was literally play 16. Normally you script 10 or 15 plays. I think play 16 was the first play that was like, oh, that's a nice play. That broke big. No, just stick with that. If he doesn't need a script, he doesn't need a script. Everybody doesn't have to fit square peg into round hole. Like, whatever it takes. I think so. You've got Bears win. I've got Bears win. Let us know if you have a Bears dub in the comments below. I think this is going to be a fun week. This is going to be a very telling week. And if not, well, we'll all be depressed for a week. That's how this goes. Welcome to the NFL.